Hi there, and welcome to another verse of the week where we're looking just to take a verse each week of this year and meditate upon it through the week, intentionally coming back to it, reciting it, learning it, because Jesus says actually this is nourishment for our soul. You can't live on bread alone, but every word from the mouth of God. And so the word of God has the power to do us good, to help us live life, and to give us strength for the battle that we face. So this week we're in Matthew chapter 11, and we're just going to be reading verses 28 through to 30. And these are the words of Jesus. So Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And so we get this wonderful invitation in this verse to come to Jesus. And that's what I want to encourage you to do this week as you meditate upon this verse. Simply realize that in doing so, you are coming to Jesus, who is the very word of God. Okay, John describes Jesus as the word of God in John's gospel. And so you're just by knowing the word of God, you're coming to the word of God, you're coming to Jesus. So there's an invitation here to come to him this week as we meditate on these verses, think upon these verses. And the picture here that Jesus uses is one of a yoke, which was a big wooden beam that would have been designed to harness two oxen together in Jesus' day so that they'd be able to pull some form of heavy farm machinery or something like a plow or something like that. And in Judaism at the time, this yoke would have had connotations, references to the Old Testament law. They were yoked to the law and the teachers of the law. That would have been the understanding. And if you know anything about Jesus' context, the teachers of the law had developed a system of over 600 kind of rules and regulations to ensure that all the Old Testament commands were kept. And so to live in Jesus' day was to come under this yoke. Yeah, this yoke of teaching. You were yoked to the law and the teachers of the law and how they told you needed to keep the law, the things you needed to do to make sure you kept the law and were right with God. And it became a very heavy burden that people couldn't bear. I mean, I could never remember 600 laws, okay, let alone keep them and ensure that everyone was followed, okay? And so it became a load that was too heavy for people to bear. And so in contrast to that, Jesus comes onto the scene saying, actually, I've come not to abolish the law, but to fulfill the law. That's what he says. And he's come to fulfill the law and the prophets. And so his invitation is to come to him instead, not to be yoked to the law, but be yoked to the one who fulfills the law. So if you feel burdened and weighed down by that sense of never feeling good enough or never feeling you're worthy enough, or that sense of almost condemnation, how could you ever be good enough? Call yourself a Christian. If you feel weighed down by guilt and shame, Jesus says, don't worry, come to me. Take my burden on you instead, because I'm the fulfillment. I fulfill all the requirements of the law. Jesus makes a way for you to come to God, not through the law, but through himself, by coming to him. And he offers rest for our soul. He will give you rest because his burden is light and his yoke is easy compared to the law. It doesn't mean that means we don't, we're just on one permanent holiday. We just don't have to do anything anymore. No, and it doesn't mean life will just be easy from here on in. That's not what Jesus is saying. But it means you are yoked differently. You're yoked to Jesus. You have a stronger partner now to do life with in Jesus Christ. It's like you're yoked to a much stronger ox. That's who Jesus is. So let him help you. Let him take the strain. Yeah, it's not about meticulously following the law anymore, trying harder to be better. I've got to just grit my teeth and be a better Christian and do all the stuff. No, it's learning to walk in step with Jesus. You're yoked to him. You have this partner now. So it's learning to go where he wants you to go. It's learning to do what he wants you to do. It's learning to walk in step with him. Because if you pull against the grain, it will be hard work. If you pull against where Jesus is going, if you're yoked to him, that will become very difficult. But instead, we need to learn, let him lead, let him take the strain and be directed by him. Live to please him. You're not yoked to the law anymore. You're yoked to Jesus. Live in step with him. Live to please him. So I want to encourage you this week, dwell on these verses, memorize these verses, meditate on them, mutter them. Keep coming back to them, because Jesus invites you to come to him. Come to him. Rest in him. Let him take the lead in your life. Let him carry the strain in your life, and you will know his help. And so be blessed, and we will see you again soon.